this course, once we are done with that, now we are left with 4 giant modules, which is ASA, FTD, ISE, and VPN. Okay. So these are the 4 modules that we're gonna do. So now, first of all, we're gonna talk about ASA and FTD in a combined topic, which covers Cisco firewall. Okay. And then we're gonna talk about maybe ISE or VPN. But if we're gonna talk about ISE, then we're gonna see all those remaining stuff that we talked in S-Core. Now we're gonna do that in this module. And then VPN is a vast module, and it will be heavy topics for you to coming up because it include the VPN configuration on iOS and firewalls. Okay, so this is gonna be the heavy module. So I'm just planning to do it in bit end. Okay. So now if I'm gonna talk about ASA and FTD, there is one thing that we need to look forward, which is if I'm going for this particular exam, which is Cisco securing networks with Cisco firewalls. So if we're going to see the exam topic, you won't be seeing anything much regarding towards ASA, right? So now the question is why we are doing ASA, right? Because you see all the topics are related to your FTD, right? But here the point is why we are doing ASA. See, nowadays in market, all the people are straight away jump onto next generation firewall straight away. Okay. But here in this course, we just plan it in a different way. How? Because first we will tell you, see, first of all, this is Cisco security, right? So what we have in Cisco regarding security portfolio, we will be learning each and everything. As you have seen in S-Core, we have learned ESA, WSA, AMPS, okay, Cisco Umbrella, we learned what are the small patterns of that. So now similarly, before jumping on to Cisco's next generation firewall, which is Cisco FTD, we're going to talk about how things work at the time where we don't have this FTD. Okay, so for that, we need to learn about Cisco ASA. Okay, Cisco ASA, you can say the traditional firewall that Cisco has at that time, or this is the next generation firewall, which is Cisco FTD. So in Cisco ASA, we have already covered some of the starting modules, right? But now what we're gonna do, again for you guys, this must be the revision part, okay? But for the people who new join, we're gonna cover for them. So for them, it will be started with ASA overview. And I'm not gonna going too much into history, but we're gonna talk about that, okay? And how we're gonna deploy ASA, because I think you guys also know only the routed part, but there are another mode which is transparent mode. We're gonna talk about that, okay? And then we're gonna talk about basic ASA configuration. So in this, guys, we're gonna basically talk about how the CLI of ASA is bit different from your iOS, because as you seen in S-Core, there are little bit change, right? Little bit change, like in router, we will be like show IP interface brief, right? But here you can see that it bit change. Show interface IP brief, something like that. Okay. We're gonna talk about that as well, like how it is different from your iOS and what are the different commands. All the commands are same. The only thing is that we need to remove IP portion. Okay. Suppose if we're gonna talk about show IP route, show IP route. So by this, we can see the routing table, right? Or the routes. But in here, we simply gonna do show route, no IP. Okay, this is the only change that we have. So we're gonna talk about that as well, okay? And then we're gonna talk about traffic flow. Traffic flow. Traffic flow consists of other factors, that how traffic will flow if you have introduced ASA in your network. And you guys have know how traffic flow affected when you have ASA in your network, right? And then we're going to talk about ASA routing, some of the routing factors. Like obviously router is there for routing, but we need to do uh, I can say small level of routing onto ASA as well in order to pass on the traffic. And then we're going to talk about some very important topic, which is NAT. As I already mentioned at the starting of S-Core as well, NAT is the thing which will be helping you to build your basic concept, because this topic will remain same in your FTD. Or in future, if you wanna go for Palo, if you wanna go for Fortinet, if you're gonna learn Sophos, or if you're gonna checkpoint, this natting is always there. So now we got this opportunity to learn the natting twice, because we're gonna talk about natting in ASA, and then we're gonna talk about this natting in Cisco FTD as well. Okay, and then we have MPF, which is Modular Policy Framework. So this is something how initially is having the policy by which your traffic is manipulating or your traffic is going. But I told you that we're going to change this. We're going to manipulate our own policies. So this is the default behavior. But after that, what we can do, if you guys remember in S4, we talked about initially we won't able to ping, but we can do the telnet. Right, guys? You remember that thing? No ping, but we'll do telnet, right? Any one of you remember that? Or you just forgot? Nobody remembered that? Strange. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna manipulate this behavior by making policies. Okay, and then we're gonna deploy our in transparent mode. Okay, what is transparent mode? We're gonna talk about that. How it works, we're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna talk about an important thing, which is ASA high availability, and we're gonna talk about clustering. Clustering is important, and security context. Security context is a thing that is, I think you guys know, because we talked about it, and we're going to talk about object group as well. Okay, so these are the topics that we're going to cover in this Cisco ASA, guys. Okay, any doubt in this? Anybody? Okay, so I got thumbs up from Lassie. What about other guys? Any doubt?
No, sir. All good.
Okay. So now the point is we are done with ASA. So now at this point, I'm considering you guys have the base. How base? Because now you guys are working on CLI, and CLI build good base. Okay. For troubleshooting to determine the traffic flows, because GUI is always a easy task. I can say that, but CLI is difficult because you need to know what to see, what not to see, because there are multiple things coming up on the CLI. Okay, so now that's not the factor that we only gonna talk about CLI in Cisco ASA. We're gonna talk about ASDM as well. Okay, just a small portion of it, not bit more. Okay, so once we are done with that Cisco ASA, guys, you are on level one. Level one means now you know how traditionally Cisco been filtering the traffic. Why I'm saying traditionally. And one more thing, people often ask me this, like why we are learning Cisco ASA, because now nobody is doing the fresh deployment of it. I consider the fact, yes, people are not deploying new ASA, but as far as my experience is there, today, nowadays as well, most of the companies want people who has worked on Cisco ASA. Because yes, the new deployments are not there, but yes, people are already running Cisco ASA in their environment. So what they want people who know what to work, where to work, and how to do migration, how to troubleshoot their issues. So yes, the fresh deployments are not there, but it is still required in market to do the troubleshooting, to do the migrations, to manage it, to monitor it. Okay, so it is not the fact that there is no requirement of Cisco ASA. People do require people who want or who learn or who knows how to handle Cisco ASA. Okay, so this is not a fact that ASA is not demanding nowadays. If you see most of the topics or most of the GDs of the job description, They do want Cisco ASA and Palo together because people are migrating. So in migration, you should know how Cisco ASA worked. What are the terminologies behind Cisco ASA? Okay. So once we are done with that, guys, we're gonna straight away move to Cisco FTD. Okay, we're gonna talk about Cisco FTD, and we have much more things to learn about. Okay, Cisco FTD contains lots of topics. So first, you're gonna talk about, as we talked in score, which is introduction part, like what are the portion that we didn't cover in Cisco ASA and why do we introduce Cisco FTD? Okay, and then it's FMC workflow. Okay, how we can integrate FTD with FMC, and then we're going to talk about access control policy. Okay, then from here only, from here, this part, we're going to talk about what are the features available in your Cisco FTD that are not covered in your ASA and why they are not covered and how they are covered in Cisco FTD. We're going to talk about that in few minutes. Okay, so these are the features like free filter policy. Okay, important features. All those features are very much important. Security intelligence. Okay, so these are the features which will be relying on your Cisco FTD. Okay, and your URL filtering, important one. Another important one. URL filtering, malware and file policy. Okay, then we have one more important thing is SSL decryption. This is pretty important topic. Why it is important? We're going to talk about this feature when we're going to talk about in FTD. But this is very important topic because you can relate how things work in the backend. Then again, we're going to talk about natting. I see natting is again there in FTD. All the way, our base is already there. Our base is already there, but still we're going to talk about how to configure natting on FTD. Okay. Then we have identity based. This is very good feature. How you can control or how can you manage access on the basis of people identity. Okay, so in that we're going to talk about how to integrate your FTD with your AD, okay, Active Directory. Then we're going to talk about how FTD work in transparent mode. Okay, and then I think this is it. This is it. IPS is different thing. We're going to talk about IPS as well. Okay, I forgot IPS, and then we're going to talk about FTD HA. So these two topics, Cisco FTD plus Cisco ASA, these are our next target in couple of months. So this is combined having, I'm not sure, but it should be around 25 to 30 hours. Okay. Combined. Okay, combined, I'm saying that. So this is a big module, but we're gonna cover that in quick manner because I know you guys are pretty good in score. But whosoever joining this batch from right away from Cisco Firewall, guys, we are starting these batches from scratch. Okay, it's not like that. My current student knows in score what we have done, but no, for you guys, we're gonna start it from the scratch. So we're gonna start from very much scratch from Cisco ASA, then lend it to Cisco FTD. Okay. Any doubt till here, guys? Anything? I think you guys know already, like what we're gonna cover. So after that, if I'm gonna jump on next, we will be covering Cisco ISE. So if we're gonna see the topic of Cisco ISE, we already talked about it, but these are the deep dive topics that we're gonna cover. So in a simple language, we're gonna first talk about how ISE work. Okay, ISE terminologies, how ISE works with different personas, okay, how we can deploy ISE, and then we're gonna integrate ISE with our AD as well, and then couple of authentication portion by SAML or REST ID, and then we already covered this in 802.1x in S-Core, but we wanna again talk about this with combination of map, okay. TrustSec is here, another important topic with respect to ISE. And then if I'm going to talk about WebAuth, guest access, profiling, BYOD, all important topics are there, and how we going to do network access device administration. Okay, so these are something that we're going to talk about deep again, although we have already covered that pickaxe and radius, but we're going to again talk about with some more complex lab now. Okay, so these are the topic that we're going to cover in ISE. ISE, although again going to take 25 to 30 hour itself only. Okay. And after that, if I'm going to cover the syllabus part real quick, we're going to jump onto your VPN. VPN is also a big unit we need to cover, but now I know we're going to cover about iOS and firewall together. Only thing we need to talk about here is what are, because till this point, guys, why I'm saying that we're going to cover this in real quick manner, because till this point, you guys already know routers, right? Now, till this point, you're gonna know ASA and you're gonna know FTD. So the only way we need to concentrate on how to configure VPN and what is VPN and how VPN is required. Okay. So this is what we need to cover. So now we know how to do work on ASA, how to work on FTD, and router we already knows about it. So now we just need to know how to configure VPN. So first we need to understand what is VPN, and then how many types of VPN we have, and then how to configure it. That's it. And in that portion, guys, I'm having some very much good scenarios that we're gonna do some scenario questions for VPN, where we have some real-time scenarios regarding to the production environment, and then we're going to talk about it, how things works in real-time environment. Okay, so this is how the syllabus for us for next couple of months, not couple of months, maybe for next 3 or 4 months. Okay, so before jumping onto that, let me gonna talk about Cisco ASA now. Any doubt till now, guys? Well, I think you guys already know about all of this. Okay. So now, guys, we already talked about Cisco ASA, but let's talk about it again, because this is the first firewall introduced by Cisco. First firewall by Cisco, which is okay, which is now end of service, everything. Now, then they have Cisco ASA, okay, which you can call, as I talked about that, which you can call traditional firewall, okay. And then people are start migrating to the next generation firewall, Cisco next generation firewall, okay, which is your firepower. This is how we have the history, okay. First firewall is PEX, and after that they landed onto ASA, and then they have Cisco next generation firewall, okay. So if I want to talk about the ASA only, let me just rub it. So ASA stands for okay. So the current OS that is working is 9x, 9.x. Okay, ASA 9.x. So 9 is your version and X is your minor patches that we have. Okay, so any different patches come up, it should be 9.1, 9.2, something like that. Okay, and then if I'm going to talk about the series, so it is 500 series or 5500 and 55X series. Okay, and what are the major portion to introduce this? So in this, we don't have much throughput issues. Okay, not having throughput issues. In this we have. So guys, you know throughput, right? Guys, you know throughput or not? Somebody is saying something. Dhoni, your voice is not coming up clear to me. Guys, am I the only one who not able to hear Dhoni, or you guys also
No.
facing that issue?
Yep. We can't hear him.
Okay. So if you don't know throughput, that is just a device capabilities. Okay, I'm not going deep into that. Then we're gonna talk about, guys, feature support. So let me go deep into that. Features supported by the first feature is, we all know that, right? Packet filtering. Okay, packet filtering. So it is represent as ACL. You know ACL, right, guys? It support both the standard and extended. Okay, guys, I hope you know this standard and extended. Okay. Then we have layer 3 or layer implementation. So in this, we have routed and transparent. Like we have routed and transparent. And then we have VPN features is there. Okay. What VPN they support is VPN. In VPN, they're going to support site-to-site VPN, guys, and remote. And after that, we have HA, device HA. So they are we have two level of HA over here. Okay, although it always two, but I'm just writing it down, which is device level HA, interface level. Device level is similar to your what? Active standby. Active interface is for ether channels. It support AAA as well when we do the ISE integration. Modular policy framework. Okay, modular policy framework is by default enable, which will inspect your traffic, right? So anybody can tell me like what are the by default traffic inspection of ASA? Anybody knows that?
Traffic is allowed from higher
I
security
see.
level.
TCP.
Nope, this higher to security level is not applicated. This is the default behavior. I'm saying inspection, traffic inspection. What are the by default traffic inspection? Like what traffic they will inspect by default? Somebody says something like TCP or something like that.
Yes, sir. TCP UDP. Said.
What are the full thing? TCP, UDP, I understand, but what are that? The full portion of it. So the full portion is return traffic of TCP and UDP is the only traffic that is allowed. Now get it, guys? Remember, we talked about this in a score. I think you guys forgot what we have done in a score, right? Stateful filtering. Okay, guys, these are the features. So if I'm going to talk about, let me just delete that. So let's go back to our So I guess in last class, people do tell me like, sir, do tell us the topic that you're gonna cover, right? So I told you guys we're gonna cover ASA, and we already talked about ASA in S core. So now guys, it's on you. So in return traffic, of ping or telnet, which one is allowed, guys, by default?
Telnet is allowed.
Sir, telnet allowed.
And why not ping?
Ping not work on TCP or UDP.
Ping works on.
The ICMP
I
protocol.
see.
So
Okay. So what about this Tiktashi? What about you? What about your answer in that?
I would say, yeah, Telnet is allowed. We looked at Telnet the other time, and yeah, ping will not be allowed except we use ACL to allow the echo replies.
And if we want to allow ping, what we need to do? Any idea?
to create the policy.
Policy ACL extended
Policy
on
means?
the outside on the outside interface.
Yeah. So we
Which
will
has
need
no
to create the
security.
policy. By that, we will be changing the default behavior or the default inspection rule. Okay. Sorry. So now let's jump onto CLI of ASA firewall. Okay. So now we know everybody have management and console port. I'm not talking about this. Okay. So I'm going to talk about how we did in iOS. So guys, I need your help in that. Okay. For iOS, I need your help. Okay. Because I'm considering that you know how these things work in iOS. Okay. Okay. So guys, which mode is this? Come on, guys. Which mode is this? The first one?
The first one is user mode.
Access. The second one is privilege mode. Third
Privilege
one is
mode.
One is your
global
Global mode.
configuration mode.
This is your global mode, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing we have over here as well. Nothing changed. Okay, nothing changed. ASA, if we're gonna enable This will be your user mode. If we're gonna like that, this will be your privilege mode. This will be your global mode. Okay, so if I'll go,
Excuse me, there are times that in ASA, when we from the global mode, we just go straight to the, I mean, from the enable mode, we go straight to the global mode in a configuration we saw last time. So does it really have a privilege mode?
let me just power this one. So what you said that just go again.
That we saw that when we put the password, we moved straight to the global mode in ASA when we're doing some configuration.
Global mode directly from privilege mode or from user mode, you're saying?
Yeah, from user mode we went to global mode. That means after putting our password, I mean enable password, then we.
So you're saying that if we put the password on ASA, we straight away move to user mode, from user mode to global mode, no privilege mode. That's what you're saying?
That is what I noticed, or maybe I'm wrong.
I think you have noticed something wrong, but let's see. We have powered on our ASA and let's see how that goes, because I think you're wrong, and let's see what it is. I think I have taken the wrong image, guys. Which image we took? Let's see. Okay, so now it's booting up. Okay. So currently we are on enable mode, right?
Yeah, config. Okay. Okay. Doesn't work. Okay.
Why it's not working, guys? Why it's not working?
Yeah, because I think the enable mode, we need an enable password to go to config to the global
So the
mode.
portion is this is user mode, and to jump onto configure mode, I need to do this. Okay. Now I am on which mode?
Yeah,
Privilege mode.
And now to jump into global mode, I need to do this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Tiktashi, as I said,
Yeah.
you're wrong. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
So now, guys, just tell me one thing. In router, let me have a router, yeah. Let me have a router. Let's do the combination of that. IOL. Let me go to layer 3. This is my router. Okay. Let me power it on. This is my router. This is my AS. Okay, now let's do the comparison part. What's happening to my router? Okay, router will always take time. Okay, it's come up. So I'll go for no. Okay. So let me jump onto the same global mode as we have ASA, right? Let's see. Okay, here we are. So we go into enable conf t. Okay. So now guys tell me what's the command over here to see the running configuration right now? Go on, anybody?
You want to say iOS or what?
Okay, let me write down. For iOS. This is your
iOS is show running config.
Show running config. Do you really think so? This is the right command. Show running
Dash config, sorry.
Do you really think so? Show running config is a right. Guys, unmute every one of you and tell me the right command to see the running command right now on iOS.
So it's correct.
Show startup. Show startup dash config.
I want to see the running configuration. That's it. Whatever it is, startup, run. Just tell me the command. Show.
Show running dash config to see the running configuration, sir, for
Okay.
iOS.
Okay, now you are done, Tiktashi. Next, what will be the command over here? Show running config is the right thing, guys.
Sir, you
run.
need to put do show running config because you're in a config mode.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is what the
Do
main
show.
position is. Guys, you need to
Okay.
see in what mode you are.
Mode. Okay.
Do show running. See, you see,
Config.
you see one thing. The tab is not working when I'm not putting do. Show, see, I'm putting tab, but it's not working. But if I'll go do show tab, I'll type run tab config. You got an output, right? You got an output, right?
Yeah.
Let's come here. Show running config. Do we require do over here?
No.
No, guys, right? See, this is the command we run. Show running config. That's it. Whether we are on global mode or whether we are on any mode, command will work. Okay, that's it, guys.
Yeah.
Command to see show IP interface brief. Now we can see the interface, but here, as I told you, seeing the interface is a different thing. Okay, the command is different. Here, the command is show interface IP
Face
brief.
IP brief. Yeah.
You got it? Okay, if you want to see show IP route, what you need to see over here? Show
Do
show
show IP route.
IP route, right? But here,
Show route.
show route. Simple. Okay, it is simple. And okay, let's not talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Now, let's do one thing. Let me just move it down and let me power off these both. And let's make a small topology and we're gonna talk about how to configure the interface. I have started down. So now, guys, we need to check how we're gonna do the interface. Anybody have any idea how to configure the interface over here in ASA?
ASA is an interface. We give the interface name, IP address. We state the IP address and the subnet mask, and we say no shutdown for iOS.
Okay, that's it. Let's see, it powered on. Let me go to ASA, reconnect. Okay, we are here. And where is my router? Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we will be configuring the interface first on iOS. Who gonna help me with that? I know this is
Yes.
very basic,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah, and like I said, you first of all state the interface that you want to configure.
Suppose I'm gonna configure interface Ethernet 0/1.
Yeah, and then IP address. You state the IP address and the subnet mask, depending on the class. And then we say no shutdown. Exit.
Our interface is configured, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Now let's we come on to ASA. Enable. So guys, there is no password, right? I'm simply putting enter. So here, which interface is there? Gig Ethernet, gig 0/0. Interface, gig 0/0.
Yeah, we put the IP address.
192.168.1.254.
It naturally takes the subnet mask even if we don't put it.
We require subnet mask.
Okay, and then name if. Okay.
What if I'm not giving? Why require name if? Let's see that. Let's see that. Okay. So guys, here, if I'm gonna type show IP route, what will happen? Do show IP route. Tell me.
I will see connected interfaces to the router.
So now we are getting the connected route, right? Directly connected route, right, guys? Everybody can see that.
Yeah.
See, first let's see if our interface is configured or not. Our interface is configured, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no show IP. My bad. Show IP route. See, guys, why this is happening? Guys,
I guess because we have not actually specified whether the interface is outside or inside, and then secondly, in our configuration, we did not say name if. Yeah.
That means our configuration is not completed. So what we have in this ASA, guys, we need to, whenever we are configuring the interface, we need to do two more things. Define security levels and define the logical name to the interface. So if I'll go name if, this is my inside. By default, it's taken 100. What is that? We're going to talk about that. But first, I am telling that this is the interface residing onto internal. Inside with 100, okay? Show route. Now you see? Now you see what? Now that means now my interface configuration is completed, right, guys? Now you see the reason behind how you know the interface is not configured, because I know people know that we need to do name if and give the security level, but why it is required? What are the reason? So until you didn't configure that, you are not configured your interface correctly, okay? So I am just writing down the steps. So in iOS, we are very much simple, which is go to an interface, you will do no shut, configure IP, okay? Here's the same, go to an interface that we want to configure, no shut, config IP, and after that, we need to give security level, and we need to give logical name. That's it, guys.
Yeah.
So now this is this security level. Now this security level. So security levels in most of the context, right? What security level is most of the context is what? Let's see. This is it, guys. Okay, I'm just rubbing this off. Security level. So guys, what do you think security level is? What do you think? According to you guys, what is security level? Yes, guys, what is security level according to you? How you define that? If I'm saying this router has 100, this router has, or this interface has 100, so what I'm telling? Tony, we are not able to hear you up. Nobody has any idea about this, guys? The people who are from the Cisco, I'm expecting an answer from you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's good now. Go ahead.
Traffic which is living from local area network to the wide area network.
That is not correct. Local to outside, that is not correct. I'm just saying, what is security level? Like how you define security level. By security level, what you are telling to your ASA. That is what.
Access
Um,
list.
By security level, I'm telling my ASA about the level of trust between outside and inside. So
Level of trust is okay, but this outside inside is different thing. Okay. Anybody else wants to add something? I see a couple of mics got unmute, so go ahead. If anybody wants to add something.
Sir, can you repeat your question? Okay.
So my question is, what is security level for you? Like if we are doing 150, what that security levels relying on, and what that security level will be relying for ASA, like what they will do, what it will show, what will it make ASA to do. No idea, guys?
Security levels help control and segment traffic between different networks in ASA.
It is. So guys, the portion I want to hear from you is that security level basically shows what it shows. How much trustworthy you are. Okay. It's range 0 to 100. So higher the security level, higher the trust we have. So that means what? Higher the security level, higher you are trustworthy. So if I'm going to talk about LAN and WAN, if I'm going to take an example over here, guys, if I want to complete this format like that, and these are the two interface. This is your ASA. Now you can tell me on the basis of security level, as I'm saying that, it shows how much trustworthy you are. That means higher the trust, higher the security level value, higher the trust is. So now the question is, we have LAN, we have LAN portion, we have WAN portion. Now tell me what security level you need to give in order to trust. Or first question, which network you gonna trust more, LAN or WAN?
So LAN.
Guys, which network you gonna trust more?
LAN.
Inside the trusted zones, so LAN.
And why it is LAN, guys?
Because all inside having the authorized users.
Sorry, say that again.
I mean, inside the all user is authorized. by the organization.
And for WAN, why it's not authorized?
Because that site have the public IP.
And we are connected to internet, right? And internet is full of malware things, right? Full of bad people. And in LAN, we have good people because they are my own network. And I know, so the point here is, you know your LAN network, right? You know your company network. But whenever it comes to WAN, you don't know what is there in internet, right? Because internet is full of malicious people, malicious IP address, malicious URL, malicious link, attacks, and attackers, right? So in this portion, guys, what do you think the security level would be? As per the range, 0 to 100. If you are the architect, what security level you're gonna put onto LAN and what security level you're gonna put on WAN. That's it. Go ahead, guys.
Inside, it could be up to 80%, from 80 to 100%. And outside WAN, which is the least trusted, that could be, depends on, you know, how we are configuring. So it's 0 most of the time. It could be done, even if you configure, which I have seen on ASA, automatically when I say outside, so it just, you know, configures 0%, 0 trusted.
So let me first correct you. Correct is that whenever you're giving name if inside, then it will take 100. But whenever you give other than that inside, if you're gonna type name if your name, it will also give 10. So the portion here is that whenever you give any name apart from inside, it will treat that as an outside. Outside means untrusted one. So the portion here is that 0 is untrusted, trusted. So now, as per this should be 100. This interface should be 0. Right, guys? Guys, this is right. Everybody knows that, right?
Yes. Yeah, that is right.
So now, when we are talking about security level, let me just give you one more thing. One more thing is that traffic flow. The traffic flow is higher to security level, higher to lower security level. We can go. What do you think about this term, guys? What's your view on this? Higher to lower, lower to higher?
These are defaults. These are default behavior of the ASA. But there are situations where we can traffic can live from lower to higher security level based on policies that can be executed through ACL.
Why is that? That is what my question is. Why I'm saying that traffic from higher security level to lower security level is always allowed, but from lower to higher it is not. That is what the question is. Go ahead, guys. Anybody go ahead. So as per this example, LAN to WAN everything is allowed, but WAN to LAN nothing is allowed. Just explain me that why it's like that. Why you think this would be the right thing to do? Anybody can explain me that? Go ahead. one by one. Whosoever is speaking, just speak bit loud, okay?
Is the default behavior of firewall?
Okay, it is default behavior, I know. But why so? Just give me the explanation. Why, what you understand about this default behavior? I know this is default behavior. We have already talked about it. But how it is very effective? Why it is a default behavior? That is what the question is. What do you understand about this?
Sir, because on the LAN side, the authorized user, they are initiating that traffic, but that's why from 100 to 0, it's allowed. When the traffic initiate, when we say, okay, 0 to 100 from untrust to trust is not allowed because traffic is initiated by the outside, I mean, from the internet. That's why.
That is what. Anybody else want to say something about it? Go ahead. Nobody? Anybody want to say something about it again? Okay. So guys, as we
I
have
want to
seen,
say something. Yeah. Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, because devices in the LAN with a security level 100 are more trusted because they are registered in the Active Directory associated with ISE. They are more trusted. They are considered secure. That is why whenever they send traffic, it goes through from higher security level to lower security level.
Yeah. So the portion which is good to understand over here is we said 0 is untrusted. And in this example, we have given the 0 to our WAN network. WAN network means from where we will be having connectivity to the internet. So as a network administrator, guys, do you want anybody from internet can organize or can just have a look what is running into your network? Just simply an example. Do you want from internet somebody can access your laptop and see what you are accessing? Is that a good thing?
No.
So that is what same comes over here. So the portion that we're going to talk about, that ASA is blocking. Yes, this is a default behavior, but the portion here is just try to understand if somebody present onto internet, you don't know that people, you don't know what they are, who they are, like what they are doing, why they are doing that thing, but still they got access from internet to your laptop or your company network. This is not right? Because as we have mentioned, internet is full of malicious things. Okay, so that is what, if we are putting an interface, I am here take an example as LAN and WAN, but when we go further into the course, it will be like whenever we give an interface security level lower than a higher security level, then we are not trusting that security level. That means if we have couple of interface like 100, 80 and 50, so the security level 50 is never going to allow communication from 80 to 100. If he initiated any traffic, it will be straight away blocked. It will be straight away blocked by my ASA. And that is fantastic, right? Because we don't want any untrusted interface can put traffic through the firewall so that it comes to the trusted interface. Okay, so this is how the terminologies work. Here we have taken an example of WAN, but it's not always WAN. Okay, in your organizations also, you have couple of interface, those security levels are low, so they are not allowed to speak or to interact with the interfaces having higher security level. Okay, we are currently sticking to that point. Okay, I know this is gonna change in the furthermore course, but till now we are sticking to this. Okay.
So this default behavior of ASA can be modified by creating ACLs.
Yes, we will be manipulating that, because see, if we're gonna stick to the default behavior all the way in default behavior, we have couple of more points to talk about. But still, if we're gonna stick to the default behavior, what do you think ASA will work full efficiently? No, right?
No.
Because suppose we have a DMZ zone over here. and I'll give 50. So even 50 also not connected with 100, right? Because of the default behavior.
Yeah.
So that is why we need to do the manipulation thing, and we will be doing the manipulating the default behavior. Okay. So the security level point is clear, guys. Any doubt in this? Because in S core, I can tell you that, okay, we're going to talk about this again. So no issues. If you didn't understand that in first time, you have the opportunity again when we're going to talk about this. But now this is the last opportunity, guys, because once we clear the topic, we're not going to talk about this again. All the way, it come up in between all the topics, but still we're not going to talk about this much as we are doing right. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to write down the default behavior of it. So higher security level, everything is allowed. Okay. Everything is denied. But here we have one thing. If we're going to write down in here is, which is reply packet from lower is allowed. That is generated traffic. That is, wait. That is not generated traffic. Which traffic is not allowed, guys? Generated traffic. You know generated traffic. What is generated traffic?
Like something like ping, the echo replies are generated traffic.
Yeah. So that is generated from outside, right?
Yeah.
That is not allowed. But reply packet, if suppose from here one PC is accessing any server, it is allowed, right? Because that is TCP. And that is reply, right? Not generated traffic. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, same security level. Same security level traffic is also denied by default.
But sir, I have a question.
Go ahead.
What about the HTTP traffic? Is it allowed or it is
So what
blocked
you
from
think?
the
What you think HTTP is? TCP, UDP, or what it is?
it is it is a it is a
Tell me what is HTTP? It is TCP or UDP? It is TCP,
Yes,
okay? TCP
TCP.
443. TCP
No, it
443.
is
Okay, you just check it, no issue. You just check it. By default, ASA inspect. ASA inspect all TCP and UDP traffic passing through firewall. Inspect means, guys, what that inspect mean? Maintain what? Connection table. Okay, it will maintain a connection table, and what it is, we're going to talk about that. Okay, let me write down one more point and then I'll. So now you know, like, what is HTTP traffic. TCP and UDP reply traffic. Reply traffic is always permitted through the firewall. Yeah, Sumit, you are the one who asked that question.
Yes.
So now, have you seen what is that HTTP traffic? Is it TCP 443 or something else? Have you seen that?
Actually, not mentioned. Actually, the port number that is working on it is port 80, I think. 443 is for the HTTPS.
Port 80 is HTTP. HTTPS is 443, but these both are TCP traffic, right? Guys, am I right?
Yeah, actually, it is not on the application layer, or it is.
You can check. Anybody can help me with that. 443 is HTTPS. 80 is HTTP. Am I right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
yeah.
It is correct. Yeah, it is correct. But my question is, because HTTP is not, it is not a secure traffic. So is it passed through the firewall?
It's gonna pass. Yeah, it's gonna pass. But I know what you're saying. So nowadays it is always 443. But you know,
Okay.
when you have some of the servers in your DMZ zone, when you have server in your data center, if you remember, let me give you an example. You see, this is the networking server, and this is coming not secure because this is HTTP.
Yeah, that's I'm asking.
So the portion here is, apart from HTTP, that is what we're gonna learn in SSL decryption. That is what we're gonna learn in coming topics. See, HTTP is not secured. That is correct. HTTPS is a secured one, but HTTP we're gonna use in couple of cases when we have some servers in the DMZ, or when we have servers where we have the trusted zone. So that where we're gonna turn. Okay, so in this we're gonna just talk about couple of examples, but mostly we're gonna talk about HTTPS only. Okay, it is not blocked by default. Okay, it will allow only the reverse traffic. You see, the fifth point by default is inspect all TCP and UDP traffic passing through firewall. Okay, TCP and UDP reply traffic is always permitted. Reply traffic means what? Suppose we have we have only configured what? Security level 100, 0. Now one of this PC go to firewall and wants to access this, and that is TCP 443 traffic. That means he is accessing the server via HTTP. Okay, so traffic will go because of higher to lower security level, right, guys?
Yeah.
Guys, this packet flow is till this point, is it clear?
Yes.
It's clear.
So now higher to lower, but now traffic is coming from when the reply packet is going. This is reply, right? Now traffic is coming from
lower to higher.
Now to security level is
0.
0, and 0 to 100. What we have seen
By default, it's not allowed.
By default, it is not allowed, right? But just read this point. Third point. What is that? What is there in third point?
Reply packet from lower to higher security level.
I write down not the computer is allowed. Right? So now this is reply packet. So this should allowed, right? So this is reply packet and this should allow, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It means that the firewall in this case is acting as a stateful firewall, isn't it? Or a stateful behavior.
Yes, it is stateful. Stateful, whenever your firewall maintaining a connection table, it is stateful. We're gonna talk about that. Let's not jump onto the future-based topic. Let's check to the default behavior, okay?
Yeah.
So now, guys, this is a reply packet, and we have seen reply packet from lower to higher is allowed. So that means every traffic will gonna allow, but still what is this in the last thing? TCP and UDP reply traffic is always permitted. So I'm saying that from higher to lower, everything is allowed. But whenever it is a reply packet, only TCP and UDP traffic is allowed by default. Okay. But now the question is, how this firewall, how this ASA gonna manage? How this ASA gonna know this is reply packet or this is generated traffic? Tell me, guys. How my ASA firewall knows? Because when this packet comes to ASA, it is coming up with security zone 0 or security level 0 and going to inside. It's coming from WAN to LAN. So now how my ASA knows this is a reply packet?
It therefore means our ASA maintains a cache table that registers requests from higher security level to lower security level. And then when this reply is coming back and it checks its cache table that this reply is coming back from this request, and then it allows it. That's my own explanation.
What about other people? So that is connection table. Okay. That is connection table that my ASA will create. As we said that in the second last point, that by default, ASA inspect all TCP and UDP traffic passing through firewall. So whenever a TCP and UDP traffic going from firewall to another location, it will maintain a table. It will maintain a table. Okay, that packet, suppose the table is like that. Okay, this is the 192.168.1.1. This is going to 8.8.8 on 443. Table is maintained. So when this packet comes from, they knows, okay, this is the one who goes out. So it's now coming in. So if I'm going to take a simple example, this is just a watchman that you kept at your home. If you are there in your home and you kept one watchman, so what will happen? If you're going out and you come back, your watchman will never deny you, right? Because that watchman knows you are a trustful person. But what if somebody from the outside try to come inside to your house, watchman blocks the way, right? Guys, you are able to understand what I'm trying to say? Whenever you go out from your home to market and coming back to your home, do your watchman will block your way?
No. He knows
Why?
me already and he will allow me to come in because he knows me that I'm staying in this house and he has been seeing me. And so he'll allow me without suspecting me that,
Exactly. That is what. So
evil.
Watchman is maintaining something, right? Watchman maintaining something, whether it is an entry, whether there is an entry on register where there is something that watchman keep and record. Similarly, in ASA keep and record if TCP and UDP traffic is going out, it will keep and record And once that traffic is coming back, then traffic is allowed on the basis of connection table. Understand, guys? Guys, understand?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Everyone? Okay, so default behavior is done. If you have write it down, that's good. If you're not, then please do write down this default behavior. So if I'll go again to my ASA and let me configure this interface as well. So I think we have done show interface IP brief. We have configured one thing, show name if. Okay, interface gig ethernet 0/1. IP address 23.1.154.255.255.255.0. No shutdown. Security level, I'm giving it to the 0. Name if outside. Show interface IP brief. Show name if we have it, right? Now let me do one thing. Let me go to my R1 and let me configure it. Interface Ethernet 0/0. IP address 23.1.1.1 255.255.255.0. No shut exit. Show exit. Show IP interface brief. Okay. Let me configure telnet over here. How to configure telnet, guys?
Line VTY 0 to 1 or 4. Transport input.
Transport input.
Telnet.
How to configure enable password, guys? Anybody, any idea?
Is it enable for enable secret or enable password? You can write enable secret or enable password for level 7.
See, it's not taking up. Why it's not taking up? Anybody?
Because it is outside.
So what?
Because it's
So
outside insecure. It's not
So you
trusted.
need to, I think, configure in config mode. I mean, privilege mode.
Wait on. Chiktashi, it is a outside router. So what?
Then it's not trusted.
So what about this?
Okay.
Why it's sticking now?
Okay, because it is now in a privilege global mode.
That is just a level on which we are configured. I am configured that on privilege level, not on configured.
Privilege. Okay.
Whether it is outside, whether it is inside, it doesn't matter. Device will behave as its default behavior only. Okay.
Good.
Let me go to my this one and let's configure line BTY02, password CCNA, transport input telnet, enable password CCNA. Where is my ASA? Let me put my ASA. Okay, guys, this is a design, right? Show route. We have route, right, guys? Is it gonna happen, guys? Guys, I'm not able to ping it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Still not. What's the issue, guys?
Okay.
Guys, what's the issue over here?
So, router doesn't have route to go to that destination.
Guys, what's the issue over here? Anybody else? Is it because of default behavior or is there something wrong with the router?
Is something wrong with the router because from the default behavior of ASA, we stated that it's going to allow UDP and
TCP and UDP traffic.
yeah, TCP and UDP traffic.
So
and telnet is UDP.
So what you think is wrong?
Yeah,
something
because
wrong. Something wrong with
because-
router. Okay, but what wrong it is?
it doesn't have a route. To
Route
reach,
towards.
it's not on the routing table.
Okay. Anyone else? Guys, what's the issue? Default behavior or something wrong with the router?
We need to create the ACL.
Okay. Next. So Nasi, that means everything is good with the router, right? It is because of default behavior.
Yes.
Good. Anyone else, guys? Come on, say what would be the issue over here? Guys, I don't want to say your name and then ask you for something. Go ahead. Sumit, what will be the issue over here?
User, can you repeat the question?
Question is from router R2, I'm not able to ping R1. Inside, let me just write it down. Wait. This is inside. This is outside. Okay. We are connected like this. Okay. This is my AS. This is the routing table on R1. This is the routing table on here. And this is the route over here. What would be the issue, guys? Why I'm not when I'm pinging from inside to outside, it's not done. When I'm doing telnet, it's not work. That means traffic is not working, whether it is TCP or whether it is ICMP. What would be the issue then? If there is an issue with the router, then what it is? Tell me. Simple question, guys. I'm expecting an answer from you. Yeah, Sumit. Now you understand the question. Go for it.
Because routes are not available.
So you say 23 network is not there in router 1, right? Or router 2.
Yeah, router 1, router 2. Yeah.
So what I need to do?
We need to
Go ahead. What I need to do? Simple question, simple answer, guys. If we don't have routes, then what we need to do?
Static
Yep.
routing.
Then we create a default route
Yeah.
to 23.1.1.1. Yeah.
Okay. Do routing is only thing that is required. there is one factor, which is one more thing that is by which we can do. If this is not a router, this is just a PC, what we can do?
Sir, netting we can configure on
No,
firewall.
nothing is not enough. For firewall is okay. But the point is, here the point is, let me give you the point. Let me give you a point. Let's see. See the route. See its tracing. Logically, what it need to do and what it's doing, okay?
Sir, I think we need route on both end, right? On R2 and R1.
See this. What it is tracing? Router able to trace anything or not?
Yeah, the routes
By
in
this,
R1.
what it meant?
It is not able to connect to the R1 or
That is okay. It is not able to connect to this outside router, but in this trace route, what you can see? Guys, in this trace route,
block.
what you are seeing?
Sir, it's not reaching the firewall.
That is the first step, right? To reach to outside router, this inside router should reach to ASA first.
Yes.
This is the only path, right? It is not go in air to connect with R1, right? There should be a path. And we can see there is no path, right? Guys, this is very simple, right? This is very simple. I am telling you, or I am giving you all the possible look after that you can see initially.
The gateway.
Okay, what gateway will do? Chittashi, what gateway will do? Tell
Now,
me.
you're like saying that in normal cases, like a PC, what do we have to do if the PC does not have a root? Well, then the first thing is that we have to check whether the PC has a gateway to go to the to the router or to the internet.
So gateway is for what? Gateway required when you want to connect with
outside.
Oh, the outside.
So that is okay. That inside router is not having route. Okay, but what if if this is a PC? Then it requires. See, guys, the answer is that static default anything we can put, but the answer is that my router doesn't know where to go. My router doesn't know. My inside router have only two route. Route means a route to go to where? To
reconnected.
192.168.1.0 network only. Whenever, so my router knows if I want to reach 192.168.1.0, anything from this network, I will reach to this because this is my local network. Connected route, right? This is my connected route. But now what we are doing, we are trying to ping 23.1.1.1. So that means now my router is blank because in order to see or in order to take a decision, router will do what? Will look what? Router takes traffic flow decision on the basis of
routing table.
So in that routing table, do that 23 network is there?
No.
That means we need to do routing, or we need to tell my router, or if this is not a router, if it's just a PC, that we need to tell if anything coming up to you, or if you want to reach anything outside your network, you need a gateway. So if I can make this router as a PC, I just need a gateway. If I want this router to communicate, then I need a routing part. Clear, guys? Both the portion is clear.
Yeah.
Because here we don't know root. route to go where? 23.1.1.1, guys. Simple understanding. This is the first level troubleshooting, guys. Okay. You see, if I'll try to ping 192.168.1.254, is it gonna happen?
Yeah, it is in the same network and it has a route.
It's happening, right? Why it's happening? Because of this. Why this is not happening? Because of routing table. Everything is clear now, everyone.
Yeah.
So if we are treating this as a router, let me give a default route. Now it's okay. If now this router will communicate to any other network beside from 192.168, it will straight away go to where? It will straight away go to where?
We'll straight away go to the internal interface of the firewall. ASA.
This is 254. Now is it gonna work if I'll try to ping?
It will not still work
Why?
because it doesn't still have a route to 23.1.1.1.
So you're saying here, okay, when traffic is going from here to there, they don't have route, right? So
Yeah.
let me configure a route over here as well. Show IP route. Show IP route. Show IP route. Show route. Now everybody have all the route, right? Let me change one thing over here is inside. Let me call it as inside. Now if I'll try to ping, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen, guys?
It will not still happen.
Yeah, because
You're seeing something that we got an entry, right? You see, guys, we got an entry. What that entry is telling you? Guys, you see one
routes
entry.
are available in the
Everyone, what we can see in this entry, this is connection table. This is a watchman making an entry. What entry it is making?
ICM outside.
Yep. Say. Anybody? Just go ahead. What they are trying to say? Say.
टाइम लगेगा अभी आपको
Sorry. Yes, guys, what you see in the connection table?
In the connection table, it says there is someone who with an IP address of 23.1.1.1 coming to inside, which has that IP address, and that is the echo reply, and it says idle. That's
ICMP traffic. So what we have learned in default behavior, which traffic is only allowed?
UDP traffic and TCP traffic, they are allowed by default.
What we are getting the access right now? We are now not able to ping, but we are get the telnet access, right? Let's see the connection table again. What you see? Now in connection table, what you see? Let me just bring it up. Now, because of this TCP traffic, this is a TCP traffic, right? This is allowed. Hold on a sec. Let me write down the password. CCNA. Enable CCNA. Right? So the connection table is still there. Is still there. But now you see the bytes are increasing because we are doing something. That means connection is still established. 2402. Right, guys? Guys, you see, we are not able to ping it, but we are able to do what? Telnet. And telnet is what? Your TCP traffic. And we can see in connection table it is maintained. Now connection table is not in use because we are not currently connected. Guys, is that clear? The default, I'm just telling you the default behavior. Telnet 192.168.1.1. Is it gonna happen, guys? Is it gonna happen?
No.
Why?
As I said, from outside to inside, it needs to be dictated, which is ACL.
So guys, that means you are done with your what? Default behavior. See, telnet is still working from inside, but from outside it's not working. That means our default behavior is done. We are done and dusted with my default behavior. We can see the TCP traffic got inspected and allowed every time. But other than TCP and UDP traffic, I'm not able to do anything. How we can say that? When I'm pinging the same destination, I'm not able to ping it. I am not able to ping it, but I am able to telnet it. That means what? TCP UDP traffic is allowed, but other than that, nothing is allowed, right?
Yeah.
So now that means default behavior is done and dusted for you. Okay, so now we are sticking to here only. Okay, but if I'll do one thing, fix up protocol ICMP. Now it's working, right? See, now it's working. And if I'll see the connection table, show connection, nothing is there, right? Nothing is there, right, guys? Show connection table. See, I'm pinging, but it's not inspecting. Now it's telnet traffic. Now see. So what I have done, I have allowed the ping from a single command, but I can see it is not there, right? Now we can see it's not there, right? In connection table, the ICMP packet is not catching up. In connection table, what's happening, guys? What we talked about in connection table? 23 1.1. See, I'm able to ping it now. Hold on a sec. But nothing in connection table. That means I am doing what? I am allowing ping traffic so that in ASA, I am just doing not to inspect that. Inspect that means not to check that traffic. Just allow, don't check that. We're going to talk about that because that is related to MPF, okay, Modular Policy Framework. We're going to talk about that in later stages. But let's stick to what? Today, we're going to stick to the default behavior only. Any doubt in default behavior, guys? Guys, any doubt in default behavior? No doubt. Any doubt in any of the coming topics? Why, like about the course, ISE, VPN, FTD, anything you want to say about the syllabus or nothing?
Yeah, I would like to say something that is related to design. I read somewhere they say the router and ASA for level 3, they behave the same. But why is it that in the deployment, in the design and network, we still need a router and we still need a physical firewall SAS.
See, that is a good question, because in router as well, you do a firewall capabilities, which is zone-based firewall. Okay. But why it is important? See, the router is only for routing. We can do other capabilities as well, but that is just an optional. Firewall is to do inspect the traffic. Firewall do the routing as well, but not as a main feature of it. So to get a full flexibility or full feature enjoyment, you need to take a firewall for inspecting, for blocking, for everything. But it will do routing as well, but not as far as router will do. See, it's a role. Major role of router is to do routing. Secondary, it can do the inspecting. It can do some features of firewall, but it will not fully behave as a firewall. Similarly to the firewall, it will be acting as a router to do a little bit routing. But when it's come to large routing, when it's come to the large environment, you won't be able to use firewall as a router because of his secondary skill. First primary skill is firewall. First skill is to inspect the traffic, to block the traffic, to monitor the traffic, okay, to allow the traffic, to inspect the traffic. Secondary, it will do routing part, but because it is required. See, now you can see in this design, routing is not required. But if we want to run something else over here as well, we require routing. Okay, so the major role of a firewall or ASA is to inspect the traffic. Secondary, it can do routing, but you can't deploy ASA as full-time router. That is what I'm saying.
Okay, understood.
Okay, any other thing, guys?
So, you said this this course is going to run for 4 months, right?
Sorry?
That the course is going to run for 4 months.
4 months for all other modules. But for ASA
okay.
and FTD, we're gonna wrap it up in 1 or 1.5 month, I'm saying, or maybe 2 months. But after that, we're gonna run ISE 1 month and then VPN 1 month. So 4 more months it will take to cover up all CCNP security topics. Not all, these 3 modules. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, Dhoni, go ahead.
Arun, what command we are going to use for to initiate the ping traffic?
What command?
Yeah, I mean, I missed that part. Like,
So you're
we
saying
use
what command I use to allow ping traffic?
yes, yes.
So that is fix up protocol, but let's not jump into that. We're going to talk about that fix up thing in MPF. That is a separate topic. Okay.
MPS? Okay.
MPF, whether it's good if you not jump into that, because that is something I will just showing you. We're going to talk about that in a separate module. That is a separate topic over here in ASA. Okay. We're going to talk about that. I just did that to allow it for just to showcase you, like it will not come up in your connection table. Okay, we're going to talk about that in MPF. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay, guys, if there is nothing, then we will be wrapping up for today and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time with some new topics. Okay.
Arun,
Go
for
ahead.
the last class, I was not present for the last class. I guess not last class, on 31st, on April 31st. Sorry, May 31st. May 31st class is not uploaded yet. I tried to contact Praveen for that.
May
And,
31st. Let me check if we have a class on that. May 31st. Yes, we have a class on May 31st.
Yeah, it was not uploaded, and I tried to reach the guy, and it's
So
my second time. Like,
is that for all the people?
Yeah.
For you also, it is not uploaded. Chiktashi,
I
Rahul.
believe so, like,
Yeah, the last time I checked it was not uploaded, so I have not checked again. Maybe
Not
I can check.
Uploaded, not uploaded. For 31st, it is not uploaded, right?
yeah, and previous
So
class from
if
CCNA
it is
to
31st is not uploaded, then it will be the case, then it is not uploaded for 1st of June as well.
yeah, it is uploaded.
1st of June is there, but 31st is not there.
No, I
Yes,
mean, I
it's
think
not
I can see 31st on mine. 31st is loaded, and 1st of June is
31st.
loaded. Mhm.
No, I am talking about 31st May and 1st June. Check for both of it.
Yeah, both of them for me is loaded.
So Dhoni, just refresh it and go ahead. Rahul, you can check as well at your end.
It's available, sir. I can see.
Both 31st and 1st.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason and Dhoni, just see whether it is not. If it is not, connect with the support team. They are the right team to help you out with that. Okay.
I guess it shows, but when you try to access the video, I mean the class, you can't access the class. It just shows, I mean, I can see the 31st, like all the details like CCNP security, March, weekend, batch, and everything. But
Guys,
when you try to
try to access that as well. As VR, there is no video. Okay.
Yeah, there's no video.
My
Yeah,
God,
that's
I
what
think guys, you need to check with support team, because I think on 31st we had a class, right? We had a class, if I'm not wrong.
31st was just last week. Last week Saturday
Yep,
we had a
yep,
class.
yep.
Yeah,
We had a class.
where you were explaining that we are going to jump into SA new modules. Some new guys are going to join us. We had a class.
Yeah, so guys, just connect with support team. If it is not solved by today, do let me know. I'll have a talk with support team by myself. Okay, just try to open case for it, connect with them why its video is not there. Then they will check the cloud where our videos are getting saved. So just connect with them. If it is not done, then do let me know tomorrow. Okay.
Right.
Okay, guys. So we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Bye bye. Bye. Thank you.